And welcome back, Josh and Bucky, talking sports once again and shifting to the national scene where the Edmonton Oilers, post Todd McClellan, are off to a good start under new bench boss Ken Hitchcock.
They're, won 3 straight, outscore their opposition 6-3. So when you think of the Oilers, you think of the run and gun. You think that's kind of thrown out the window with Ken Hitchcock. He takes care of his own end first. He always says it's going to be uncomfortable for the first while for the players because they have to get adjusted to the way that Ken Hitchcock likes to play. Ken Hitchcock always goes into a game and says, we're scoreless. It's 0-0. All we have to do is score a goal. We can't let one in. So that's his game plan every game. And through those 3 wins, they're about to score their opposition 6-3. So it's definitely a Ken Hitchcock team right now. So there is players out there that want to show they belong for the ice time they're getting, or they want to get more ice time. So right now there's a lot of players trying out for Ken Hitchcock's team.
Yeah, especially on the defensive end. We've talked before about how much help they've needed defensively and how that's really been, along with depth, probably one of their biggest issues in this dry spell over the past decade where they haven't been a very strong program. And it's kind of a tryout period for them. If you have a really defensive-minded bench boss, you get to earn your spot here.
Well, and that's the thing. We always talk about the strength of the Oilers are up front, the weakness is out back. But at the same time, if your forwards can come back, support your defense, all of a sudden you don't have 2 guys playing the back end, you have 5 guys playing the back end. So all of a sudden their defensive zone turns from a 2-guy system to a 5-player system, and their defensive zone coverage right now is as good as anybody in the NHL because Ken Hitchcock is managing it.
Yeah, and then you'll also see if that has an effect on Cam Talbot's play, as well as, I'm forgetting the backup goaltender's name now. Niskanen, I think is his name. Always bad with those Finnish names. That hasn't been the most exciting story, though, in Canada. The Flames have been great. Toronto's still great. The Nylander contract. In fact, you know what? Let's pull an audible. I want to get your quick thoughts on that Nylander contract.
It makes things interesting for Marner. All I have to say is the Leafs kind of caved in to what he wanted. I think they kind of came to that last minute, so let's get a deal done. We got 5 minutes left. Let's get it done. They got it done. But now it gets interesting going forward. Where does Matthews, where does Marner fall in? Because they got to get contracts done here in the next year. And are they going to, buy the company line, maybe take a little less? Because the window of opportunity to win with all these young guys is a short one if you don't get them signed.
I think that's the key thing when you have young players that are really elite on entry-level contracts, you kind of want to win right away. You don't want to look at it as in 4 or 5 years we can be really good. And they must obviously really think Nylander is worth the money then to risk losing a guy like Marner.
Well, you got to think that Austin Matthews did a lot of negotiating on behalf of Nylander, saying, you guys got to get him done because I love playing with him. We're good, very good together, and we could do some damage in the playoffs. They could be a cup contender. If Nylander comes into the fold, and it's going to take a couple of weeks to get things going, but the Leafs got to think that they got to be a cup contender in the East.
And now really quickly before we go, I want to get your quick thoughts on Raptors, all things Raptors. Best team in the NBA. You saw that win over the Golden State Warriors.
I'm not an NBA guy, but I sat back and I enjoyed that game. The Golden State Warriors did everything they could to beat the Raptors. Durant with an incredible 3-pointer that I don't know how he put that in. But you know what? The Raptors are finding ways to win. They're a very good basketball team. You got to think, with Leonard in the fold and just that DeRozan out, Leonard in, wow, they're that good that they should be the #1 contender, and there could be a long run for them in the playoffs all the way to the final.
And they play again tonight. Jamal Murray will be in town for that, a Canadian product there. Less than 30 seconds, just who is on the sports show tomorrow night?
Ty Smith from Lloydminster off to the World Junior Camp for Canada, so he'll be playing for Canada, the World Juniors in Vancouver and Victoria. Also joining us will be Doug McLean, former Florida Panthers head coach, now a member of Sportsnet, and also Rob Vanstone for the Regina Leader Post, and our good friend Gord Bamford will join us on the Tuesday night sports show as well.
A packed sports show for you tomorrow night, and that's it for us. You can enjoy the rest here on Primetime Local News.